All right, welcome back to a new view on how I edit and how I create these vaults for TransWorld. I'm gonna try something new on this one. I'm going to put in all of the clips in a row in the very beginning here, and then I'll have the longer version right after that. And you guys can let me know how you like the view of this and how you like a new version of basically showing like rapid fire tricks. And without further ado, here we are, July episode 2. So we got Kyle Leeper there. Usually after we're done filming a video, it's kind of hard to cut ties with the people that we were just working with previously for the past year. That must be what's happening here. Is I was probably down south, working on something at TransWorld, and then met up with Kyle, just told Leo to come with me, I assume, and we're skating this handicap ramp here.
I don't know, I'm trying to think what trick you could do on a picnic table.
So that's a perfect example of a skater getting greedy. He did quick pop over and then kick flip nose slide and then try to do a trick right after an ollie 180 kick flip. You can hear me here, like just don't do anything after. And then,
Just don't do anything after.
I know visually from it's gonna look better if he doesn't do anything after. I know that I could probably like whip pan out and get out of there. There you can see me cutting like that. And Leo trying to dodge the camera. And there's a camera glitch right there. That's something I wanted to mention during this episode is I'm having a really big problem with the deck that I use to import all these tapes. And a lot of these tapes are just having problems playing. So anyways, I'm now using QuickTime to import a movie. There's a huge quality loss. The audio is weird. The audio tends to not be lined up with the video, and I'm just not having a great time doing it this way. I'm gonna continue doing it this way for a couple episodes, and then I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to import the footage. All right, back at it here, and now we're at Seahawk High School, which I think is in Huntington Beach. I did film a lot with the VX2000 fisheye, I think just because. But you can tell here in the highlights, the VX2 wasn't that great. And also, the microphone on my VX1000 was messed up. I think it happened from someone hitting the camera. I know that every now and then it would just annoy me that it didn't sound good. The wind sound would pick up really hard. So every now and then just stop using the VX1.
Oh shit! I had no idea that was there.
I like how he hits like a piece of wood. You could see it right before the nollie 180 kick with the tail slide. That right there is such a good part about filming. You can see how stoked Leo was in that line. Like we knew we needed lines. He's happy, I'm happy. High fives. And you got Shiloh lip slide to switch crooks. And you can tell right here, this is the VX2000. Definitely VX2 long lens. This line of Shiloh at Atwater Village School. There's a cut in there, and that's literally because I could not get it to import with QuickTime. So it just would not let it import. It would always stop at a certain part. Just had to like cut it together so it would like look like one line. Clear. He did make this line. You're gonna see later with Raymond's trick at 7th Street, the same thing happened. This rail in East LA had the best dimensions for the rail itself. I mean, other than it being square, which Leo didn't really care about as far as I knew, the only problem, short runway. The stairs were like super small. So it was a 12 stair, but it wasn't very tall. Because of that short runway, I was figuring that we would just use wood. But Leo didn't care, he would just push from the back. And most people who skated this rail didn't do it that way. They usually use wood as like a drop-in. This 50180 out is so rad. And this whole session is filmed on a VX1 if it's fisheye. Should have went over on the other side for the nose blunt. I'm not sure why I was on this side for the nose blunt. I'm not sure why I was filming it from this side. I was filming from this side for the front crook, I think.
That was a breakdance maneuver.
Then I just throw it in there. New shit. If you fall, why let it fall in there? Why not continue it?
That was awesome.
That's why I did it, because I knew I was gonna get the. Dude, that was awesome.
I think Leo and I had a similar sense of humor.
Where'd you learn that?
Yeah, that's why I did it, because I wanted you to say it was awesome.
That's why I did it, because I knew I was gonna get the. Dude, that was awesome.
Like I've said before, it was just super easy to film with Leo. Front crooks on handrails are hard to film. On this fisheye angle, you can see it when he lands and rolls away, he kind of disappears into the rail. And I knew that happened when I filmed it. I was probably bummed on that, but he wasn't gonna do it again. Yeah, next we got Raymond here at 7th Street. Him and Stefan Attardo. And this is where I have a problem here with me importing this footage. You can see right there what happens. This was happening a lot. This was happening a lot for this episode in particular because I don't usually import this way. Importing with QuickTime is definitely not helping the audio, and if you use a VX2, the audio is never as good as a VX1, but this QuickTime importing is definitely not helping on that front. But anyways, this front crook that Leo did on these benches is really rad. Besides the option of using a crappy mini DV camera as a deck, if someone else has a better option, let me know.
Yeah?
And then we got the next session here is at Citrus, the Citrus rail. This rail was so hard to skate. You were almost never able to skate here. Usually you'd go here on a holiday nighttime. Like I think we went there on, Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, Thanksgiving. You most likely you're not getting any more than 20 minutes here. So it's kind of crazy. I'm actually filming with the VX 1000 right here. He did all these tricks to get ready for a nollie front nose. So something I haven't talked about is photographers. There was almost like this unwritten rule that they kind of had priority in a way. Even if it wasn't their session, even if it wasn't their spot, it was almost like they were the more important part of the puzzle in a weird way. And like the filmer kind of had to, move around them in a sense. And so the best thing to do, of course, is to A, become friends with the photographer and have a good working relationship with them. And B, just like always talk to them the whole time. Like, where are you gonna be? If I lean in here, am I in your way? And just like, keep talking to the photographer to make sure that you're not blowing their shot and they're not blowing your shot. And I remember when he did this nollie front nose, kind of turned into the rail. Like The bottom post kind of blocks him, and that bummed me out. So I was like, hey, you want to do another one? And he ended up doing it first try, and that's when I got that top angle, which I like even better. We didn't get kicked out, so we kept skating, and that's when he did the kick frontside grind. All right, so this rail is called the Vale Rail. It was in our area, it was in like Montebello. I grew up in Rosemead, so maybe Thomas Bonilla or Daniel Shimizu, I'm not sure who, they knew of the rail, and I think they told me about it. This session probably lasted 30 minutes max. That nose grind, so good. I like nose grinds from the back, like the back angle. And you can see him playing here with the Hasselblad. I think Humphreys was shooting this, John Humphreys. So here's something interesting. Those clips have all been imported through QuickTime. And this fisheye clip right here, VX1000, this clip is imported the old way from a deck. Every episode I've ever made so far, I've never color corrected anything. I personally don't really see a point in color correcting this stuff because it's just a look back in time. Woo! That front feeble, that first attempt, woo, sketchy.
Oh man, that's what I hate about long shit. It hurts when you fucking fall.
Waxing the rail slide part right there. So the rail and board don't have any friction, less friction, the easier you're gonna get away. Although I have no idea about that because I've never ever front feebled a handrail. So I'm just going off instinct.
You're not standing there, Shiloh. I'm just kidding.
So Leo just said, "Can you not stand there, Shiloh?" And Shiloh was probably standing like right behind me.
This kid sucks, man. What are you talking about? Took him 3 tries. So come on.
How many tries?
3 tries, 14 stairs. He should have done that like first, like nothing.
You were done first, huh?
Easily. Come on, you know me.
And then there you go, Shiloh shit talking. Pretty sure Leo wanted to do it again, and you can kind of hear Shiloh here saying like, "You don't need to do it again."
Yeah, that was nice.
If you're gonna do it again, I'm gonna get another angle.
And then I say, "If you're gonna do it again, I'm gonna get another angle."
I'm over you then. Dude.
Leo had this thing where he like almost wanted to do tricks before I was ready. You know, like messing around basically. And Grant Taylor ended up doing that to me a lot, like, you know, down the way, a long ways away. But it actually like kind of conditioned me into like always wanting to be ready because I didn't want to miss anything. It's just funny to hear him say that. I'm over you then. He ends up backlipping it, and he backlips it first try. That was it for this episode. Tune in again in a couple of weeks, and I'll see y'all back for the first episode of August.
I'm over you then.